All right, welcome to what we're going to call episode 39 of the Athletic Philosopher podcast. Oh, team, I am pumped for today's episode. Still riding high off of the vibes of the latest tribal training team race that just went down this past weekend, May 18th, 2025. 19 tribal athletes, two coaches, and a whole bevy of family, fans, and supporters descended on Chattanooga, Tennessee to take on and take down the IronMan 70.3 race. So, for those who don't know what an IronMan 70.3 race is, this is a half distance Ironman triathlon. We got the swim, we got the bike, we got the run. A full Ironman, you are swimming 2.4 miles, biking 112 miles, and then finishing that lovely day off by running a marathon, 26.2. You chop each one of those disciplines in half, 1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike, and a 13.1 half marathon cherry on top. You get 70.3 miles of conquering domination. And I've done a few of these race reflection pods, both for races that I've done and also races that I've coached on. And I want to aim this directly at my tribal training teammates, my brothers and sisters in arms in the battle of athletic endeavor. And that's not to say that this isn't a podcast for people who are on the outside of tribal training, far from it. I want to show you the type of connections, the type of bonds, the relationships, the things that we are cultivating inside of our team. I want to bring you inside, okay? So this isn't just a podcast for tribal training, but I do want to highlight individuals on the team in a way that I haven't in the past. And I want to talk directly, not just to the individuals that were at the race and competed, but to those on the team who watch and always send their love and support to those of us who do get into the arena. At least on particular days. Like, we all get into the arena, we all compete. That's what the team is for. But, not everybody competes in the same day at the same race. So I actually made the most notes I've ever made for any one of these podcasts, saying maybe I'm leveling up a little bit myself here in terms of the production quality or the, I would say maybe just the direction that we take these things, but not too much structure. I want to start off first by highlighting what I think are the magical moments that happen even before race day that are part and parcel of our team race experience. And it's one of the things that I think, it obviously sets us apart, but this is really the most special part of team race weekend. It's all about preparing ourselves to get to the starting line with the right intention, with the right frame in terms of our mind, but most importantly, our heart stance. Like opening up that heart and allowing whatever happens inside of the lines of the race, whatever truth becomes revealed by the sharp razor of competition, pardon me, that we're open to it and we're not afraid of what it reveals about ourselves, about our training, about our process, about our characters, and that we can utilize whatever comes about in the race, whatever adversity, whatever triumph, likely both, in integrating those lessons like into our characters and moving through the full wheel of the hero's journey, right, to return as better people. Like, race medals are cool, obviously, for those who complete races. These are big moments, and these totems that go around our neck, symbolize the effort, the dedication, and the sacrifices, both that the person who crossed the line, but also the people who are behind that person, right? The family, the crew, the people who pick up the slack, when we're out training and competing. These medals are very important. But ultimately, if all you walk away with from this race is a finisher medal and some cool swag, right? Well, then you've missed the plot. You've missed the plot. And so the team race experience, how we set intention and how we execute is going to be part one. Part two is going to be my experience as a coach, staying in a team house and giving you kind of a blow by blow account of what we did, Coach Ryan and I, on race day. And then part three is going to be shout outs for all of the teammates, what I saw in each of you, as a way to both honor your efforts, but also to educate and inspire the people on the team that want to know the stories. Like, the narrative is the most powerful piece of human technology. I often go back and forth between, like, what's the greatest human invention, and I think I'm settling in on the narrative. May not actually be a human invention. It may actually just be inborn inside of us to fit everything into a start, a middle, and an end in order for us to understand basically anything. So stories are not just fun in the sense of, oh, I want to listen to what happened to, say, Zach Shipley when he got a flat tire on the bike and how did he respond. We want to know. We want to know, Zach. But ultimately, the power of the narrative that we can attach to our characters and to the truth of our efforts and our actions in the world is going to reveal, a deep truth and a deep knowledge and a deep internal knowing about who we are, where we need to aim, and how we can continually transcend ourselves through righteous endeavor, and in particular through the crucible of athletic training and competition. All right. This one might go long. I don't have a cap. I have a lot of coffee. And we're just going to let this one play out. So we're going to sip. And we're going to go. Part one. The magic happens before you even touch the starting line. When most people sign up for these big time competitions, they do it alone. Or they do it with a small group of friends, or maybe they shell out big money to be part of a team. And there are some big teams out there with lots of members all across the United States, Canada, the world. And you can feel like you belong, right? We're all wearing the same colors. We're wearing the same kit. We travel maybe together. But we run individually, and the sort of meaning of the race gets fragmented away from you because you're isolated. And when you're isolated in a race situation, especially in a race as daunting as an IronMan 70.3, we're talking about moving with intensity 4, 5, 6, 7 hours straight in difficult conditions, in difficult disciplines. Swim, bike, and run. None of those are easy. They're all going to test you. There's an isolation that comes in the fact that you do it solo, that you're out there by yourself. And the frank reality is, the moment you finish, you are back into reality. You're traveling back home. You're picking up responsibilities. People might congratulate you for like a minute or two, but really they just want to get on with life, and you have to sort of reintegrate as fast as possible. A lot of people do the races for the wrong reasons. They do it for status. They do it just to show off the medal. They do it to get the bumper sticker or the tattoo so that they can brag, or so they can paper over insecurities and limitations inside of their character with external accomplishments that are supposed to represent the virtues that they so lack and that they know that they lack inside of themselves. And I've been passionate about this team and what it provides the adult athlete that I don't think any other organization is operating at. And that might just be ignorance. Probably is ignorance, because how could I possibly know about all the organizations out there? It just in triathlon, let alone other athletic endeavors. And so I'm not just saying that because I know for sure there's nobody else. Like, it's possible there's a million other groups that are like this. I'd love to be shown them so that we could hook up and do some good work together. But until that happens, I don't know about any other team that puts in what I'm about to describe to everybody. And, that all starts with the big chief, head coach, founder of Tribal Training, Ryan Dreyer, and his vision of harnessing and utilizing endurance training as momentum into life progression. That endurance training reveals character, empowers character, and allows us to become active in living through that true character that we desire most. Not being subject to other people's limitations that they put down upon us, or expectations, or settling, living a life of regret, like aiming big, living for the dreams, being who you are, living for truth. That's why he brought a guy like me on staff to be the tribal prof and an assistant coach. And over time, through online group calls, through writing projects, through in-person experiences, we are refining the in-person team experience to such an extraordinary level. I just have to praise it, number one, but talk about it in great detail and share it with everybody here. So what sets us apart from all the other teams is we are a real team. Like, just because you wear the same colors and you pay the same money to a corporate headquarters doesn't mean you're on the same team. And those stories, they'll come through when I get to the individual athletes and what I experienced on the race. But let me give you a little taste of how we do things, and then I'll maybe just leave it to you to go out and see if you can find anybody that's doing anything close to this. So all athletes, right? We got 19, number one. What's very cool about our team is it's online, right? Everybody lives in different places. There are not many people on the team that, kind of live in the same town and do training together. There's not a lot of people that even live within kind of like reasonable driving distance to be able to meet up in the middle and do training together. So we're always effectively training by ourselves, but we're always checking in online in various ways. We have a dynamic group chat, and those who sign up for the team races where, we want as many team members as possible to show up to this race, so that, the one or two races a year that you want to do are not just out there by yourself, but with the people who are training with, who you're talking about training with on a day-to-day basis, so that you guys can celebrate and push together. We have smaller cohorts, right? So all the people doing Chattanooga, for example, have been in a special Chattanooga group chat. For months and months, they've gone through special Chattanooga group calls about training, tactics, but also mindset and preparation, and how to be consistent, and how to frame the effort, visualize the effort, believe in yourself through the training process. But the team, it operates much more like what I would describe as like a digital YMCA, right? We'll go into history mode for a second here. The YMCAs emerged in the middle of the 19th century. I think the first one was like 1844 or 1845. Certainly it was in London, England. And these were created as social clubs for, the young Christian man to resist the temptations of the new and exciting urban life, right? So we all face temptations. We all face vices in our lives, like things that are easy, things that are surrounding us that maybe don't make us better people, but that certainly allow us to like fit in with the crowd and certainly give us at least temporary joy. So some of the vices, the temptations, in the 19th century urban industrial city that, let's say, a young upstanding gentleman might not want to involve himself in, things like gambling, drinking, fighting, prostitution. Same thing in the 21st century, OnlyFans, drinking, fatty foods, cheering, like going to the bars, whatever you think it is, right? It's basically the same. And those temptations are so strong that you need a physical space in order to get away from it, right? So the YMCA is a place where first we center on the training, right? So it's an athletics club. So we've got our calisthenics, we've got our ropes, we've got our parallel bars. I'm just imagining, and you've all seen these, like those 19th century drawings of the athletic clubs, the calisthenics, the gymnastics, the indoor courts, those types of things. But the YMCA's also had reading rooms, they had studies, they had card playing rooms, they had places where young men could fraternize with each other, right? Create a bond, but also work on improving themselves in other areas of life. There's almost always some sort of a spiritual space as well for prayer. This is a Christian association. Other religions copied it and modeled it. Like there was a YMHA, a Young Men's Hebrew Association, for example. Same sort of idea. Like we're going to utilize athletics as a spiritual vehicle to resist temptation and to aim at our best selves and our best potential. And while the amateurs in the 19th century, they certainly didn't live up to the ideal, that doesn't mean the ideal is not great. And certainly that's the ideal that I want to bring into the 21st century, is what these sort of sport reformers of the 19th century were trying to accomplish. And the YMCA was built on a doctrine known as muscular Christianity. That in order to do the most divine work of all, you need to be strong in body so you can be strong in mind and strong in spirit, right? Like that's the red triangle of the YMCA. Body, mind, and spirit aligned together. No wonder I talk about this stuff all the time, guys. Like this is where it comes from. And tribal training, I describe it as a digital YMCA. It's the 21st century digital YMCA. So not only do we do the training, right? And Coach Ryan trains you up real good, puts all the workouts on your plans and turns you into an absolute weapon out there on the courses, whatever course it is you want. We have all these other rooms for development. We have these cafe podcast chats where him and I will chop it up on making meaning out of the efforts and how do we do that and how do we conceptualize it. We do 2-on-1 coaching, Ryan and I, for some of the individuals on the team who are looking to leverage the training in a more direct and intentional way, or who struggle with some consistency issues, or who struggle with some character issues, that the training highlights, and then we improve together. We also have, I just started up a book club, a spin-off that Ryan has created. It's called the Quill Keepers Group, where we're leveraging writing. We have people building businesses. We have people creating podcasts. We have people writing Substacks. Like we have people creating and producing things. And certainly that'll come to light in some of the individual stories that I want to tell as well. So when we show up for these races, it's not just like, hey, like you're not, we're here to just race and that's it. We've all been wedded together through this digital YMCA experience to recognize that, hey, a lot of the importance of showing up is so we can actually have some of these online room experiences in real person, right? And the first thing that happens when it comes to like scheduling these pre-race events is we want to get logistically comfortable, right? It's an online training team, so coach doesn't really get to see the athletes in person. So it's a good chance to now look at the athletes in motion, give them some confidence, give them some tips and corrections, so that when they head into the race, they're already feeling like world beaters. So the race is on a Sunday morning. All the athletes effectively get into town on Thursday. There's a couple that have to come in on Friday and a couple on Saturday, but the majority of athletes, they're in on Thursday because Friday morning is team swim. We head to an open water swimming area on the Tennessee River. I believe it's right by the Chickamauga Dam. That Tennessee River, by the way, historian side note, that is my first time to Tennessee. That is a very cool spot. Got to learn all about the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority, as part of the public works projects of the Great Depression, harnessing the Tennessee River, building dams, and bringing electricity to, kind of like the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachians. It's very cool just to sort of just be there because I'm a giant history nerd. It's a very beautiful place. But, we've got, I think, 14 athletes all jumping into this open water. And Coach Ryan is now in there, and he's helping people in terms of like, you want to be doing this with your hands. This is how you want to be breathing, right? And even like 5 or 10 minutes of that in-person, hands-on coaching alleviates so much anxiety and stress, especially for first-timers, but even for some of the seasoned athletes. Like we have a whole range of performance levels. We have a whole range of experience levels when it comes to the team, right? Not to go too far ahead, but it's like one athlete doesn't even finish the bike and another athlete qualifies for the world championships, and we got everybody in between. Okay, so we got swim start Saturday morning, group bike ride before you have to drop your bike off at the transition area where you move in between the different disciplines, right? So you have your bike stationed in one area so that when you come out of the swim, you run up, you get on your bike, and then you come back to that exact same spot with your bike, you get off it, and then you go out on the run. So before everybody drops their bike off, go out for a 40-minute, hour-long bike ride, get a little bit of a taste of where you go out from the transition area, what the course kind of looks like. And this, again, is a great time for athletes to ask questions. And what's very cool is, Coach Ryan's not even leading this one. This is being led by a seasoned athlete on our team, the hero, B. Riley, who's done the course a couple times. He has great performances in 70.3s. He led the ride last year, and he led it again this year with great effect. So right away, right, we've got 2 structured technical coaching sessions that provide athletes with in-person, hands-on instruction in order to quell anxiety and boost confidence before the race. So you got these technical sessions. But it's really this mindset work that is paramount. And we get a great example of this right on Friday. So after the swim, we all go to the athlete check-in together. That's where, you're doing your race registration, you get your bib number, you get your swag bag, and all those fun things. And the idea is we are going to all go to the check-in together, and then there's a big informal dinner at one of the team houses. This is such a big race. So usually what we like to do is have sort of all the athletes and coaches in one house, if it's possible. But there's just so many that we have 2 houses. One houses Coach Ryan and his family, because there's like 6 of his family members all competing in the race, which I'll highlight a little bit later. So they've got a house. But a bunch of us, right, me and a couple of the other athletes, we also have a team house. So there's 2 team houses. It just so happened that we were about a mile apart, which was great. So we actually, from our team house, we were able to walk over to this main team house for all of these events. And Coach Ryan and I were actually able to get out on a run together on what I'm gonna describe as the greatest road to run on that I've ever been. This O'Grady Drive in just outside of Chattanooga. It's beautiful, and so we are walking into the athlete village, and people are getting ready to register when we get a bing 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 Notification, Ironman Chattanooga. The swim is canceled. The swim is canceled. There's a big giant thunderstorm that's coming. It definitely came. And it's going to make the river, the current is already a fast, like downstream swim. And the maximum flow rate is about to be, 2.5 times more than what is safe for people to be in the water. So they canceled the swim. Boom. Humongous gut punch. This is like 2 days before the race, and now one of the main reasons that a lot of people take up a 70.3 is to conquer their fear of swimming. Literally, to go into the open water and to take it out. That's not on the table anymore. We got one athlete that's like been a big fear of his, and that was the main driver as to why he wanted to sort of do this for the very first time. We got another athlete who bonked on a swim in a 70.3 late last year and has been like counting down the days for redemption to get back in the water and prove that I can make the swim. Like I can get through the swim. Now, you don't have that. And immediately, what did people start thinking? Oh, well, this isn't a real race. This isn't a real 70.3. I'm not even doing the thing that I set up to do. I'm being cheated. I'm being cheated. So we have this conundrum. We have this mindset issue. We got athletes saying, I don't care. I'm going to go and I'm going to drive to that dam that we were just swimming at the morning of the race, before the race, and I'll swim the 1.2 miles just to show that I could do it. And then I'm going to drive to the race, and then I'll get on the bike and start with everybody else, right? Like, they're not going to take this away from me. And we got other athletes that are just, do I even try as hard now? Like, why should I care? Why should I care? Because they've taken this thing away from me. Like, it's a real dilemma. It's a real dilemma. But we know that we have this space. We've got a team dinner, and there's so many of us that it's a beautiful dinner. It's catered. Like, our team is leveling up, guys. Our team is legit. Big time legit. And so Coach Ryan and we use the space to have an impromptu open sharing session about, let's talk about our feelings, right? And what's so cool about this is, Ryan, he was in the IronMan Chattanooga, like in the fall, and the same thing happened. He had his swim canceled, and this was the race he'd been building for 5 years. Like, this is the Ironman, the full Ironman, where he was going to qualify for the World Championships. He had his first 70.3. He's got some great podcasts on this whole process about how he got injured, and then COVID sort of canceled everything in the world for a while. So he effectively had like 3 years to train for his very first 70.3. And then he qualified for World Championships in the first go. And then, not necessarily expecting the first time he does a full Ironman, but it's like, hey, I should be able to qualify for Worlds. But it didn't happen so quickly. And so this is like a 5-year build. And now he gets to the race that he's handpicked it. Like, this is the race where I'm going to be able to maximize my skill set. I live in Colorado. I bike mountains. This is a hilly course. I should be able to come down from the altitude and blast the competition and get my spot. They took his swim away. And he sends out this message to the team the night where he's already reframed it, right? It's not the race that doesn't count. It's the race that tried to break me. And I came here to throw down and give my best. And there's nothing that is stopping me from continuing and to give my best. And he goes out and has a baller race. He's in a battle for that kind of final spot on the run. And he digs deep and he goes to that pain cave and he just lives in it. And he gets across the line and he qualifies for the World Championships. So already, like, he's in this fantastic leadership position to guide people through all the feelings. So he reiterates the story and opens up the floor, right? We're all sitting now in this beautiful log cabin in the woods in like the Smoky Mountains. We're out on this beautiful deck. You can hear the birds. Like, it's just this beautiful scene. Like, kudos, Tennessee, you rock. You really do rock. And, opens up the floor. Some athletes, not fazed by it. Other athletes, I'm pissed, right? Other athletes, I'm discouraged, right? All these different emotions, and there's no judging. It's just opening up so that we don't hold on to the emotions inside and let them fester and then get into our minds and let anxiety, doubt, frustration, anger, regret swirl around and poison the well of what's supposed to be this gigantic celebration, which is the race. Which is the race. How many teams do you think got together, organized a share session so that we could vent and open up and hear from other people? And it comes to me after everybody is shared, and I just simply point out the one word, right, that everybody has effectively mentioned without mentioning is integrity. So just because the challenge in front of you isn't the challenge you expected, does that mean you get to show up with anything less than like your best character? How do you want to show integrity to who you wanted to be? I pulled a line from Dylan Spina. Shout out Big D. We all love you. We miss you, guy. We miss you. I love doing the races so I can meet the version of me that crosses the finish line. Okay, so nothing about not being able to do the swim portion of the race precludes any of those individuals from going out and being integral to the ideal of what they wanted to accomplish. And then I also told them that caring about the activity opens up the activity. So the more you actually care about the fact that there is no swim in terms of, I'm just really excited to do bike run. Well, guess what? The bike run is going to open up for you and the lessons are going to be revealed. And you also can't force the transcendence. So if you're just determining to say like, go out and do the swim and be angry and closed off and regretful, like just kind of bringing in that negative, pissed off, frustrated vibe, you're blocked. You're totally blocked off from any of the transcendence you thought you're going to have because you're determining the outcome and you're closing yourself off to possibilities. Closing up the heart, guys. Closing up the heart. And like just this sharing alone, by the next day, everyone had slept it off. And it's like, I'm glad we don't have to do the swim. Also, everybody heard the thunderstorm that night and was like, thanks for not making us go into that water, sort of thing. But the space that was opened up to be able to share, like, this is invaluable stuff. This is invaluable stuff. We have this great team dinner that's catered. People go to sleep, and then we get back together. So the next day, right, we've got the bike. We drop off the bikes, and we head back. And that was impromptu. We didn't even plan that. But we understand the dynamics, the emotional dynamics of the race, and what this does to people's psyches. And we need people to be at peace and calm and ready to go once the start line hits in order for them to not only have great races, but to reveal the lessons that eventually we want the races to teach us. And so we've got an intentional run, right, build session, right? The run, right, build is kind of like our new tag, sort of like our new refinement of the mission in tribal, where we utilize the truth of the training to reveal truths about ourselves, and then utilizing that truth, we then go and build out our destinies and dreams. It's pretty fire, right? So we've got a writing session, right? We get led through some visualization and breath work, again, on this beautiful deck in the Smoky Mountains. Everybody is eyes closed, deep breathing, totally invested in the activity, again, because this isn't like a surprise. It's not like you show up and you're like, oh, we're doing this reflecting stuff. We're doing this sharing stuff. Like, what's going on? This is what we do in our group chats, in things like Quill Keepers, in our cafe pods and symposium discussions. We're always opening up. We've got a book club. We have a write, run, build running challenge going on where we are taking quotes from a deep philosophical kind of book on running, and then we're mapping it to a training session, and then picking out the lesson and saying, oh, this is how I can improve in my day-to-day life. And we share it in the group, right? So everybody knows what to expect and everyone's fully bought in and intentional in the process. And we are big on language. We are big on language, selecting the right words in order to harness the right vibes, the right frequencies. I'm going to have to do a podcast on this language chart or on the maps of consciousness or how we utilize words to affect our mental and spiritual states. Yeah, it's very important. Language constructs reality. Just is. Sorry. Just like a narrative constructs reality, what creates the narrative? It's the text, right? It's the words. Nothing is real until it's named. So where do you get the names? And the names have to correlate to the things. This is just like philosophy and theology and spirituality 101, guys. Like words are power. So we have a beautifully led, expertly led reflection session by Coach Ryan about words, where it was pick a word, not a negative word, or maybe it is a negative word. And if it was a negative word, like, what did you feel about your build? And if it was negative, where are you now and how have you moved it to positive, right? Because, words like frustrated, that's negative vibes, negative energy. Something like hopeful, hey, that's positive vibes, right? And there's sort of like these numbers that correlate onto the charts and everything. It's no surprise a lot of the words I talk about on this podcast all the time are all plus 10s. Things like love and joy and freedom. There's a method to this madness, guys. There's a total method to this madness. And then everybody goes around and people are starting to like open up and share these incredible reflections. Some people are talking, for upwards of like 5 minutes, like bearing themselves open to the rest of the group. And I honestly think the best part of this is not so much the fact that, you're asked for 5 minutes to write and then you do the writing and then you're forced to share. Like that's all important. But the most impactful part is listening to other people. Seeing other people share their journeys and where they're at in their hearts and their minds and their spirits and how they're feeling, because that breeds camaraderie. I relate to that. I empathize with that. I didn't know you struggled with this. That's really impressive to see how you've moved from negative to positive. I'm inspired. I'm emboldened. I'm empowered by your share. Teammate of mine who wears the same color, who I know, who we just had a giant hug, right? A real team. And then we get to pick out a word, right? We get to pick out a word for how we want to attack the race. What is going to be our theme using the language chart, right? We got words like relentless, offensive, peaceful, joy, right? These incredibly motivating words, inspiring words that you can feel on the inside, connecting to the virtues of your character that you want to show to the world through the race and that you want to prove to yourself when it counts the most. I'm going to bring that part of myself to the challenge. Or that's at least what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping I can do that. And everybody goes around and they share these one words. And the way you feel after opening up like that to your teammates, in front of your teammates, hearing them, seeing them open up to you, well, now we are kind of like a band of brothers and sisters ready to go out and battle. We're going to go battle ourselves. We're going to go to war with ourselves, right? We're going to leave it all out there. We're going to have the time of our lives celebrating. Actually, celebrate was one of the words. I think that was Zach Shipley's word. You got a word. I got a word later on you, Mr. Shipley, and your words. Yeah. Let's go. I'm pretty sure that was you. And if it wasn't you, I apologize to the person who picked celebrate. But excellent word, and I'm almost certain it was Zach Shipley. right? And that's a word. And he was talking about all the different ways that it was a celebration. And I just had to like chime in. I'm like, dude, it's a celebration of you. Celebrate yourself, right? That's what the race is a celebration of self and potential. And a willingness to expose that potential and a willingness to expose that self to this sharp ass razor of truth. Sorry for the swearing. This sharp, sharp razor of truth, right? That's cuts. Oh man, the race cuts deep. It's savage. The race is savage. Not in terms of, oh, like the physical pain or the physical effort, but what it reveals about who you are. Ain't nobody want the truth, guys. Nobody wants to see the truth, especially not about themselves. They want excuses. They want distractions. They want to blame other people. We want to be victims. Nobody wants the truth about where you messed up, about where you got exposed, about your limitations, about where you dropped responsibility, about your lack of accountability, about your lack of skill or talent or discipline or grit or whatever it is. Nobody wants to have to face that. People want the other side of the razor. People want the glory. People want the PRs. People want the cheers, right? People want the encouragement. People want the, I could never do that. You're so brave. You're so tough. You're so strong. They want all that. They don't want the other side. They don't want the other side. That's the risk. That's the risk of the arena. I talked about this so much in 2 podcasts ago on serious competition. Okay? And when you care, like when you care about yourself, you care about what's on your chest, you care about the team, you care about your teammates, and you want to show up for them, support them by doing your best, right? You can see and start to feel how real our team is. This is not just an internet team. This is a real team with real people. And all the people are legends and killers. So that's a little bit of the pre-race. Man, this is going to go long. Let's go. Let's go. I've been waiting for this moment. Sidebar. I've been waiting for a podcast that goes like 90 minutes, 2 hours. And there's just me pouring out. And that's going to be this one. And this is what the races do, man. They just bring it out of us. And just so grateful. So grateful for the team and for everybody on the team to allow me to find my space. Right? And this is kind of like my space now. This is great. Okay, so let's move into my experiences then, because now we'll get into the narratives, a little bit more of the personal narratives, right? Because this is what we love about sports, right? We love the hero stories. We love the comeback. We love the underdog, right? We love the legends. We love the individual narratives and the collective narratives of the teams, right? That the individuals play for. I think I need more coffee. Hold on. Very nice. All right, so my experience starts out by being picked up by one of my teammates, Trevor Althouse. Shout out, TA. You're a rock star for all the driving that you did. TA lives up in Wisconsin, not too far north of me, so he's literally driving right past my house to get to the race. So he comes by on Thursday morning, and we get into the car and off for a 10-hour drive to Chattanooga. We're hoping to arrive, I don't know, somewhere around 8 or 9 o'clock. We're losing an hour because we're going from central to the east. First thing that we experience, an hour of gridlock going right through the heart of Chicago. What are you going to do? No complaining, just silent grind in that sense. You know, we're listening to some podcasts. We're getting reacclimated. TA and I, we did the Elephant Mountain 50 miler. I was with TA during his sort of struggling part. Eventually he had to quit. Just physically reached his limit. It was the right call for him. But we had some hard miles together and shared some good times. And we were also sort of taking the same flights out of Chicago down to Phoenix and back from Phoenix to Chicago. You know, so we're buds. And we arrive at this house. Shout out to Grant Warren for getting the house, for organizing, and for bringing in, you know, what I would say, you know, kind of like the core and the heart of the team. People who are showing up for all the team races. We got in our smaller Chattanooga team house number 2. It's myself, it's Trevor A, it's Grant. We got Tribal Scout, another assistant coach on the team, Blaine Bursey. We got Trevor Coulter. We call him the Phenom. And we got Stefanos Backus, who is maybe the most character of all characters, of any character who ever existed. We love you, Stefanos. And when you meet him, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. You'll know exactly what I'm saying. So we've got 6 in the house, and it's just like going with the boys, right? And everyone brings food. Everyone is cleaning up after each other, some more than others. People are just taking what's available. There's no complaints. There's no friction. There's no ego. People kind of, if you need your own individual space, you just sort of take it for a second. But otherwise, we're just, hey, when do you guys want to leave? What do we need to do for tomorrow? We're chopping it up. It's just like great vibes. Like there's nothing like staying in a house with other athletes when you're also there by yourself. Like that's the magic of the race retreat, like the ultra race retreat, the Elephant Mountain 50 miler that we did. Because at a 70.3, lots of people are bringing their families, like, which is wonderful. Not everybody is staying in the same place, but it's nice to have a house with just the athletes. And I observed this as the coach, that it's just really good for people to be able to chop it up, to talk about the race, ask questions, and even just make jokes, right? Just cracking a few with the boys. And I notice in the team house that we've got, again, a pretty intimidating little group here. This is people that have shown up for the last 3-4 team races all together and thrown down. Some of the most highly participating members in the group chat and in our online calls. And, for somebody like Grant, this is his very first time at a race. This is his first race. It's his first time at a team event. And, just shout out to him for taking the lead and organizing and getting us all together. That's where the magic happens. And you were the magic maker, Grant. Thanks, bud, for getting the house and bringing us all together. And, I'm observing the athletes just feeding off of each other, asking questions, like the bike group, meeting new people, having your mind taken off of the fact you're about to do this really big event with a lot of pressure on it. People are meeting individuals that, they've only seen their avatars on group chats or their pixelated faces on Zoom calls. And you can just feel people coming together. You can feel stress and anxiety literally dissolving out of the entire group through these sessions. And, I have a couple of solid shares, I would say. Personally, didn't quite like some of the things that I said up in front of people. Didn't think it flowed. Didn't think it was quite eloquent. But I had athletes come up to me afterwards and say, we really appreciate the words that you said. That really helped put us in the right frame. And, that means everything to me. And coach just breathing life into me, saying, it's so great that you're here. I love what you're doing. I love the presence that you bring, because what you do is you make the guys and the girls on the team comfortable to open up and share and be vulnerable. And as I just mentioned in the previous 40 minutes, like that's the magic. Like that literally is the secret sauce of the team, is the opening up. The open heart leads the way to truth, guys. The open heart leads the way to truth. And when you play with your heart, it's impossible to lose. So that way, right, we are being moved by the heart towards the starting line, so that whatever happens inside the lines, win, lose, draw, whatever outcome transpires, we are going to be winners. We're going to be winners overall, because we're not pros. We don't get paid to race. Even the coaches, we're not here to be performance only or you're out. We don't kick you out if you don't finish the race. I know people have been on some of these online teams, and if you're not doing the 11 hours of training, and if you're not hitting big time performances in the race, they're on you. They're not happy. There's only been one person that's been effectively kicked out of the team, and it wasn't because they didn't finish a race or they were slow. It's because they had the worst attitude ever. and they poisoned the well, and we're not interested in whiners and complainers. Not on this team. So being able to set the intentions of everybody's heart in the right place is of the utmost value for what we're trying to accomplish as a team, which is creating killers, creating individuals bursting forth with potential from the truth of their heart. And just knowing that the writing sessions and some of the words, or even just the fact that I'm there and people know I'm this former prof who is breathing this type of energy directly into the team culture and into the individuals, like, this is everything to me. And I am not the most like extroverted guy. Like, I'm a quiet guy. Look at all the books that are behind me. I'm very happy to go into a library and read for 9 hours in a day and like never talk to another person. Like, that's just who I am. But as a coach, like, I got to bring energy. Like, I got to be on it. I got to be enthusiastic. People are going to be looking to me to bring the vibes, right? And especially as an assistant coach, that's what I'm there to do. I'm there to pump your tires up. Not literally on the bike, but figuratively, like the tires in your heart. Oh gosh, that's a bad analogy. Please tell me it works a little bit, guys. So for me, like, Ryan and I, we go out on this really awesome run on Saturday after the final mindset session. It's on this incredible hilly road, beautiful steep rollers. It's literally like this 2-lane running path, effectively, because you're just running on the side of this beautiful green mountain. You're just kind of going up and up, and there's like no houses and there's no cars, and you just keep going, and you just, it was just great. And, you know, one of the other things that I believe is my role on the team is to support the coach, like to breathe life and confidence into the coach and to give him space away from all of his other obligations and responsibilities to maybe vent a little bit, maybe say what's on his mind, so that when he's got to now go out and instruct and pour into 19 athletes and mobilize like a whole bunch of other people that are here for his dream and his team and his vision, right? That he's able to go out and do that with the pure and open heart. So even being able to go on like an hour run in the middle of the day and just chop it up with the head coach, I feel is a giant service to the team that I can help to provide by just alleviating pressure. Like, you don't know the kind of pressure that guy's under. He's staying in a house where his wife is competing, his sister, his brother, his dad, his future brother-in-law, his mom's there, his mother-in-law, his aunts, his uncles. Oh, his uncle's also doing the race. He's staying with all these family members. He's got a toddler that's at the race too, a little 2-year-old man who's just like walking around and stealing the show. That's a lot of pressure. Plus the 19 athletes who pay him to coach them. It's a big weight, right? We all support each other on the team. We all support each other. So from my vantage, right, my role and responsibility is clear. It's open up the hearts, provide confidence and courage to face the truth that flows from action, directed by the open heart, and especially directly into the arena, the eternal crucible, the challenge of the contest that brings us into direct contact with the harsh and brutal truth. That's my job. And so on race day, we're up early at the house. There's vibes, but there's also nerves. I'm kind of there, but I'm kind of staying out of it a little bit, right? One of the interesting things about, my role is that I'm a player coach. I'm in the arena sometimes with the guys. Like, I'm my own competitor. So I understand sometimes it's good just to be a teammate and not be the philosopher coach. Not everything's got to be a conversation about like deep meaning or anything like that. It's important to have space or to put that in at the right moment or to allow someone to come to me if they want to have those types of conversations. That's usually what transpires. But I'm not forcing the issue. Like we've already done the work. The hay's already in the barn, both physically but also mentally and spiritually. I say a few words, to my homie Grant. It's his first race. Got a lot of words for you later, bro. But Grant has been somebody that I've been coaching, alongside Ryan, for over a year now in terms of some of this mindset, consistency work, and Grant's got a particular battle, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I just had a few encouraging words, a short conversation, reminding him of the smiles that were on the faces of his wife and his son when they called him and he introduced us to them on his phone and FaceTime, and just like getting into peace with whatever happens. It's a good little microcosm of what I think I'm there to provide. We drive over to the race. Everyone's kind of ready. We're all assembling outside of the entrance to the transition area. Coach comes. All of a sudden, it's like the whole team is there. We've got this amazing photographer, Kevin Berg. Shout out, Kevin. You're a legend. Your photos are incredible. And it was awesome, watching you take on the course with the coaches, as I'll explain in a minute what that means. But again, it's like a real team. We're all congregating before the start line. We're getting these incredible portraits. We've got kind of like a circle session, just in terms of like ready to go. We have a giant picture. Vibes are high. They're electric. And then the athletes are off. Without the swim start, it's kind of like a bike time trial. So they're sending off 2 bikers every 5 seconds. It's incredible. The logistics of the Ironman it's impressive. It's a really tightly run ship. It's a really good organization. But we go out and, I got 19 athletes in my phone on the Ironman tracker, and I got the notifications turned on, and it's connected to my watch. So I'm starting to get pinged, right? Right? Like BMAC has started. It doesn't say BMAC, but this is what we call you. And then it's like I see the ping, and then 2 seconds later, where we are on the course, we see them. So now we're seeing every athlete start on the bike. And what's very cool about this, we got like 5 or 6 athletes all starting kind of within like 10 seconds, 15 seconds of it. So we're seeing groups of our athletes on the bike. And if this is the swim, it's like everyone's just kind of coming out on their own and they're a little bit fragmented. But now it's like athletes can ride together. Athletes can kind of race against each other. This is another kind of unlock here. But we get to see everybody, and it's incredible, right? So we see everybody come through right at the bike start. Coach Ryan, myself, and Kevin, we're kind of running a little bit on each side of the road. We run up to the transition area to see the last couple of athletes that are about to head off on the bike. And then we immediately get into, all right, we got to set up basically our crew and our sort of presence for the day. Last year at IronMan Chattanooga, Ryan set up. We have this giant kind of flag. It's like a feather flag. I don't even know how tall it is. It's very tall, probably like 15 feet, maybe 20 feet. In the team colors with the team logo. And he set this up on a pedestrian bridge, and that was known last year as the Tribal Bridge. And athletes crossed this bridge kind of 2 times, so you were able to see the athletes running across the bridge 2 times. This year, though, we can't do that because the bridge is closed for construction. So the athletes will be running across it. They're all going to be complaining about it as they're running across it because it's in horrible condition. But they don't allow anybody else on it. So we've got to figure out a new place to go. Ryan's also created this like gigantic banner of one of our new slogans, which is interaction with boldness, which is what I'm wearing right now. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see the logo. It's we got our chief Manitou, who's our mascot. He's riding a mammoth. It's dope, and it says interaction with boldness, and it's the colors are sort of this gray with black and orange, and we got this beautiful flag with the giant logo. Interaction with boldness, and we kind of set up a temporary camp with some canopies, with some chairs for the athletes to kind of congregate around, and some of the families to sort of make a central camp that's sort of right by the race finish, but also allows us to see the race start by the way this Chattanooga race is situated. And man, shout out to the Chattanooga. I don't even like the city and the people who run the race. Just incredible race site, incredibly compact, just really spectator and crew and family friendly. Just like excellent experience, like really great. So we set up the canopies. We get some coolers of water. We got to run back to Ryan's car, and the car, his aunt's car and his mom's rental car. They got all this stuff in the trunks. We got to haul it all down to the riverbank. We set up the flag, and then we go up on top. It's Ryan, and shout out to Thadia, Ryan's mom. You're like the glue, man. You're like the glue, ma'am, of the day. You are filling in the gaps. You're sticking things together. You're like picking up our trash. You're making sure everybody's taken care of. You're non-stop. You get an offer to go like with, some of the other family members to go get a break, go get some breakfast, go get coffee. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be in it. Like, I want to be running around. I want to be seeing the athletes. I want to be setting up, right? And so we are on this bridge, and we are hanging our banner below the bridge. We don't even ask for permission to do that. We're just doing it. Whatever. If we get in trouble, we'll take it down. It's not a problem. So we got 100 feet of rope. We're tying the rope to the bridge, right? There are these little slats, right? And so we've got Ryan and Thadia. They're tying up and situating the flag. We got Kevin below on the street who's sort of orienting and directing us, like move it left, move it right, move it up, move it down. It's a really fun, really funky little scene. And we finally sort of get it all together. And, because we're not going to be able to see everybody out on the bike. Like, the bike course goes into Georgia. It's like, see you later. Like, we'd have to get into a car. We'd have to drive out with the hopes of seeing an athlete for, like a split second pass us on the bike. We've got 19 athletes. Like, that's just not realistic. So we're sort of positioning ourselves to catch as many of the athletes as possible on the run. And if you go back and you listen to my IronMan Florida coaches recap, that's double the length, right? So there's just way more time to go out, both to like catch a breather, but also to, go out and try and see people. And we only had 10 athletes at Ironman Florida. So we got double the athletes and we got half the time. So everything is like fast and furious. It's like by the time that, the coaches have set up this flag, it's like, how much time do we have to, go get like a coffee for ourselves? And the answer is not much. So one of the things that's common as a coach is you're sprinting. Like you're not just running around the course. You are like threshold sprinting from place to place to place, right? And it gets tiring after a while. It's like a shuttle run. It's like intervals, guys. And so Ryan and I see this chance to go like, refuel ourselves with caffeine, and we just bolt. Boom! We're sprinting like right to this coffee shop. We get in, and of course, giant line, but divine intervention is real. We see his aunts. Oh my gosh, I gotta pause because my computer is gonna die. I didn't plan this correctly. Pause the moment at entering the coffee shop. I'm going to get my power cord. We're going to have as little dead air as possible. 3, 2, 1, go. It's just like at the race, guys. It's just like at the race where we're just sprinting around from one to the next, right? It's all good. You guys take a breather, listener. You take a breather. Whew. Let me catch my breath. We'll get a little more of this inspiration in the mug. And we'll keep going. Whew. I just sprinted up the stairs. Always makes you tired. Whew. All right. So we get to this coffee shop. We're not interested in waiting. Divine intervention, we see Ryan's family. Like his mother-in-law, his aunt. And they say, just give us your coffee order. We'll bring it down to you. Where are you? So we say, we're down by the bridge. See you later. And we sprint right back. And it's a good thing that we did because our athletes are starting to come in off the bike. So we want to go and see our guys and girls getting off the bike in the transition. And we want to give them love and life and check in on them as they're starting the run. So we bolt back over, right, to the transition area, which is maybe, I don't know, few hundred meters, 400 meters, maybe 300 meters from where we are positioned at the bridge. Like everything is so nice and compact, right? The transition area is right by the finish, and we got this basically the start of the run and the finish of the run, like right there under this bridge. So we start to see athletes coming off the bike. We are catching people in transition. We are yelling encouragement and just providing all that fire, that people love to get. And there's lots of supporters everywhere. There's lots of people cheering. But when you see the person who's wearing your team color and that you just had this experience with in terms of like opening up and sharing and getting to know each other, it's like gas that's already lit on fire that's going inside of you, like it hits extra hard. And so we are trying to see as many people. Ryan is in particularly trying to catch up with Chelsea, his wife, who's doing her first 70.3. She'd done a few before. She had their first child, Jack, who's 2, and this is her first competition as a mom. So it's a big deal, and coordinating little man on the course at certain times so that mom can see little man and her husband. This is a very important thing, and coach takes a little extra time just to make sure that connection is watered well, as he should, right? And I'm there to help support him. So I kind of go back into transition and I see a whole bunch of our athletes on my own who have all just sort of finished the bike. And so we see all of these, we see all of our athletes kind of through the transition, but not all of them, because we want to start seeing people out on the run as well. We want to start to check in. Like there's kind of like this big hill that goes up under this bridge. And then, so, athletes are kind of starting the run, going up a hill. They're finishing the run, coming down a hill. And we want to just start to congregate, our supporters around our banner and our flag by this bridge. We're also, instructing and helping, parents and other spectators who maybe this is their very first time. They're like, hey, I'm trying to track my son. It looks like you guys know what you're doing. Like, when are we going to see him? How long should we wait for? Where's the best place? So one of the things our team also does that I do not believe you see a whole bunch of other teams doing, hint, hint, because they're not real teams, is pouring the same kind of love and support and encouragement in anybody on the course who seems to need it. We are open, right? We are encouraging. We're as we wait for our guys, we are clapping, we're cheering, we're giving high fives to anybody who's passing, who wants one or seemingly needs one, right? And that's just how we do things. That's just how we do things on the team. right? Because we play with the open heart and because we are a real team. And there's this sort of incredible thing that is about to occur. Because some of our guys are super duper fast, some of them they're first timers, and they're super duper slow. Relative to the others, okay? Nobody's slow, and who cares if you're slow? Like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anyways. But we're trying to see people like coming off the run, but we're also trying to think like, should we be getting out on the course? Are we able to see them like it's a half marathon? Are we able to go and see them at like mile 5, mile 6, mile 7, somewhere in the middle where we can check in and provide a little bit of encouragement or some advice or tactical support, emotional support? And as we are kind of deciding, like, where's our next move? Are we going to stay here? Are we going to move? Like, I remember getting the ping, we got Trevor Coulter, the phenom, and I look down and it's, I don't think we should be leaving because Trevor just hit the 12.9 notification. He's going to be finishing this race in about a minute because he's so bloody fast, right? And we've gotten some pictures from Kevin, and I haven't seen all the pictures yet, but like we're coming up to the scene now of like my absolute favorite picture so far. My absolute favorite picture. So we are like seeing our athletes going out on the run, and we're hyping them up, but this is the first time we're seeing an athlete like coming into the finish line. And I'm kind of walking up the hill, right? I'm so anxious. I've got this like, I remember running the course with so many of our athletes in Florida, and I'm like, I want that. I want to be beside an athlete. I want to be talking to them, jogging with them, pacing with them, checking in on them, like giving them that final bit of encouragement to hit the final 0.2 miles hard. And if you're like, but it's only 0.2 miles, then you ain't ever run a half marathon, because this is now like a running joke about the half marathon. That you hit that sort of like 10-mile mark, you're like, oh, it's only a 5K now, and it's like, yeah, but like 25 minutes, or that's 30 minutes, or that's 20 minutes, and I don't want to run for 20 more minutes. I want to run for 2 more minutes because I'm tired. And it just seems like no matter what it is in that final 3.1 miles, your brain's trying to make you believe that you just are about to finish. And it's like that finish line never comes. And so many of the athletes, they describe like hitting the bottom of the hill and like getting to that mile 13. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to keep going. And then it's like, but there's still the 0.1. And they're like, this 0.1 is the longest 0.1 of my life. It's just amazing what the brain does. Half marathon is perfect for this reason. That's a podcast for another time, though. And so we had this incredible moment where Ryan is anticipating seeing his sister coming on to the run course. And her share, Maddie, your share was great. Was that, she wasn't really enthusiastic. And the word that she used to describe sort of her training block was begrudging, because it's kind of like, I'm competitive. My siblings are doing it. My dad's doing it. Like, my sister-in-law is doing it. I'll do it too. Like, I'll do it too. And here she is, like, she's completed the bike like a champ, and she's just about to go out on the run. So he wants to, like, see her, run with her a little bit, like, encourage her. But we got Trevor Coulter, the phenom, finishing at the same time, right? So he comes barreling down the hill. And, Ryan and I are just, like, over the moon. Like, Trevor C is just a legend. Like from where he started to where he is now, like, dude, we remember Zion. Zion was like 13 months ago in April of 2024, and he's one of the 3 finishers. And he's been like on a rocket ship of an exponential growth in terms of his performance and capabilities. And we're watching this guy like smashing races. He takes down a 100-mile race on his own. Like, he just did a 10-miler in an hour in Philly. Like, the guy is like on fire, and he is just he is going for it. So we give him all the love, and we are just hyped. And we turn around, and then we see Ryan's sister Madison, and Kevin gets this incredible shot of Trevor and Madison high-fiving each other. It's like one is finishing and the other is starting. We got giant smiles. We got Coach Ryan in the middle. We got the banner. We got the flag, and we got me kind of like off to the side, just sort of like observing. It's like this Absolute perfect picture. Absolute perfect picture. And then it's like, shoot, we can't really leave this spot. We're not really able to leave this spot because we have athletes going both directions. And so we just post up under this bridge. We're going to call it Banner Bridge. And we're just, okay, now B. Riley's coming in, right? Now the next person, the next person. And we start to get this energy of like shooting down the hill, getting jazzed up. I'm kind of like up the hill. I'm like the forward man. I'm Vanguard here. I'm like yelling out, hey, you're coming into like your home territory here, home stretch with your team and your family, like just giving you all the love and the encouragement and the fire. And as you know, as happens with our team, when athletes cross the finish line, the first, they sort of like gather themselves, they get their medal, they kind of get a breather, but then they come right to the flag. They come right to the feather flag, right to the banner, because they want to support their teammates who are still out on the course. Newsflash. No other team does this. No other team has the members come back out on the course to cheer on their other teammates. It doesn't happen because they're not real teams. Should be obvious by now. They're teams in name only, right? It's a facade. It's window dressing. It's superficial. It's fake tits. Whatever. It's not real, okay? It's not real. And like, we start to get this hands on one side, hands on the other. And again, I think this is just what separates our team. It's like the people who are the slowest, the people who are coming last, they are about to receive the biggest hero's welcome because everybody is waiting, everyone's anticipating, and everybody wants to celebrate. It's like the people who you knew were going to go faster than you, they're all waiting to pour love directly into your heart. And we end up with this tribal tunnel with the athletes shooting down in the final 0.2 miles this hill, being dabbed up by the coaches, and then whoosh, coming through with their fellow teammates and the supporters, all wearing the same kits effectively, pouring in the love. And it's just magic, guys. Like, it's what you want in sports. It's everything that you want in sports. It's drama, it's narrative, it's support, it's conquering, it's the underdog, like it's the favorite. It's like all these things, but you're inside of the action. You're living it. You're not the fan on the outside who's got to pay $200 just to get in the cheap seat, or you got to turn on your TV and subscribe to 10 different things just to get the darn sport, like to watch it. No, you're in the middle of it. You're directly in the action. You're the experience. You're getting the lessons. And this is like, I live for this. Like, if I'm an introvert, like, all my extrovert energy goes to something like this. Like, I am sprinting, I'm yelling, I'm encouraging, I'm doing whatever I can so that when the last athlete cross, all I want to do is go to bed. And I don't want to talk to another person, right? Well, I mean, I still want to talk to everybody. I want to chop it up, but it's like, if you want to empty the tank, it's like if you want to empty the tank as an athlete and cross that finish line and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't have anything else. This is great. I want to feel like that as the coach. I want to feel like I don't want to see another person because I just spent 7 hours pouring everything out, right? And as an introverted, internally focused kind of guy, like, it's a big ask for me. And I certainly felt like I had drained a good amount. Everybody has this sort of incredible finish. We get to all then move over to the original place where we had put up the canopies. We get this amazing finish line picture, which is not a finish line, it's like a finishing picture with everybody there. That's a good photo, but I really do like the starting line photo a little bit more because I really think the starting line is the most important line. And I guess now we can start to move into the individual narratives. I want to shout out my teammates individually here. So this is going to require me to actually bring up the notes that I wrote down. I did write down a few notes, but I haven't looked at any of them since. And I honestly don't even know where they are. So just give me 1 second here, team. We like to do things on the fly, and we like things to emerge on this podcast. All right. Shout outs. So there's a couple of coaching observations. There's a couple of things that I want to highlight in people. But effectively, I just want to shower praise on the individual narratives. All right. First shout out, got to go to coach. Obviously. Big Chief, Ryan Dreyer. Setting the tone, leading by example. None more, I would say, impactful and inspiring to the teammates than seeing how you have created a space where your family wants to follow. You had your brother, your dad, your future brother-in-law, your sister, and your uncle all wearing your team colors in the arena. One of them even said they begrudgingly were doing it, but they still did it. And they showed up and they balled out. So for BMAC, for Lath, for Madison, for Chunk, and for Jeff, it's incredible to see you put faith behind Ryan and to prove that faith in action, like through your determination and willpower to finish the race. You know, Lath didn't have quite the preparation or the build that you wanted, but you still gutted the whole thing out, man. And you finished. You got across that line, imperfect conditions, leading to a transcendent moment of self. And even though you were the last one to cross, like, you got the biggest cheer, bro. And we all wanted that. We all wanted that so bad for you. Apparently this is not plugged in. This is not good. There we go. We literally almost had the computer crap out on us. Not anymore. We have rectified the problem of actually plugging in the computer cord. And it's just awesome to, like, see you move through fear to a place of peace and calm, and to just go out and execute by not quitting. That picture that I said that was my favorite, Madison, that was just a great performance. And again, your word, I believe, was trust, right? And when you place trust in somebody to guide you through a process that you're not really sure about, but then to have it all come through in brilliant execution, right? It just shows the depth of your character and your commitment, not only to yourself, but to these higher values, things, you know, like family and loyalty. And it's just incredible. You see that in Chunk, Ryan's brother, as well. Man, you got some chops, dude. Great bike, great run, great attitude. Your smile was infectious on everybody, and your lightness, even if you might have had some trepidations or maybe a few little internal doubts, never came through. And that just sort of steady, calm, understated confidence, I think, in your own ability, that radiated on out, and it was great to watch you crush and do your thing. It was a bit of a redemption for Jeff. He conked out at a swim in Santa Cruz. Chattanooga last year is very famous. I'm not going to retell the story. Go and listen to Ryan's excellent podcast about the Chattanooga race and what that meant for, you know, Jeff and for Ryan as a father and son, but also just like for the guts and determination in moving through cramps and not giving up. And, you know, even when you bonked out on the swim, you were right back out there cheering on the other guys who were doing that race with you. And it was great to just see you run a good race, have a really excellent energy about you the entire kind of weekend, and to see you just perform well. It was great, and just hope you continue on the journey, man, because the truth's in the training, and there's lots of truth and lots of potential out there for everybody. But I see a lot in you. And then Chelsea, man, it's impressive to see. A mom throw down with such fire and determination and competitive juices. You know, I've seen this with my own wife. Moms give away so much of themselves to the kids. And they do it willingly, right? But it's hard to remember who you are sometimes when you're so consistently giving away and giving away. And it was really incredible to watch you get back in touch with that self, right? With who you are on the inside through the race. And it was great just even seeing you being so competitive with the other family members, and like, oh, I was only off 1 minute. Right? Like, just really great. And I'm excited for you to continue to be a kick-ass mom who just throws down in races and wants to show the best of herself and deserves to show the best of herself. That was really great. But again, this is sort of all related to coach, right? You just set the environment where people trust you and want to follow. And that was just so evident in the way you were even just able to talk about your own experiences with the canceled swim, and just guide everybody expertly through like their own fears and their hesitations. And it's one of the reasons why we all are on your team. We all believe in the team, we believe in you, and wear our logo and our merch and everything with such pride on our hearts. It's just always awesome to watch you do your thing, dude. You're such a great coach, and you're such a great leader, and you just care so much about your people. It's just so evident, and that just comes through in every single team experience. So, shout out, Big Chief. You always bring it. Okay, this was a kind of a cool one. Shout out to Trevor Coulter and Brian Riley. So these guys are training savages, throwing up massive numbers, and they got into a little bit of a friendly competition. Like, they're about similar ages, and so they're thinking, well, Trevor's like, I'm really motivated to beat B. Riley. And B. Riley's thinking, I really want to smoke Trevor. And they had this kind of friendly banter throughout the weekend, because we're teammates and we're all pulling for each other, but we haven't really had a moment where we've had two teammates kind of square up against each other and say, mano a mano, let's see who's faster. And, Trevor ended up taking the crown over B. Riley just by a few minutes. Trevor was like 3:58 and change. B. Riley, I think, was like 4:03 and change. Both incredible races, guys. But what was so cool to see is that the friendly competition made everybody better, right? It made everybody better to see that, we're dogs, we're athletes, and it's fun to compete against each other. And it's not like Trevor's going to hold that over B. Riley for a little bit, but, they're already talking about, well, next year we got to run it back and we'll have the swim and we'll really see who's going to have the faster time, right? And that obviously is going to push them, right? Like Trevor, I don't think he runs a sub 7-minute mile average on his half marathon if he knows, like, I got to beat B. Riley. Maybe there's an extra gear he doesn't get to. Maybe B. Riley doesn't go under the 2:15, 2 hour and 15 minute bike time average. He had 2:14, like an absolute savage. If he knows, like, shoot, I got to make up bike time on Trevor because he's going to get me on the run a little bit, maybe, right? Like, they pushed each other. They pushed each other to train harder, to be more committed to themselves in the process of growth and opening up, and to throw down on race day. And everybody on the team saw that. And I really think that this is a very fun model that I want to try to incorporate into other team races. This idea of friendly inter-team competition. It pushes us all to be better. It raises the bar. And, like, kudos to both of you for just doing it in the exact right way to do it. Like, with camaraderie at the root of the competition, not trying to be better than each other so you can gloat, trying to be better than each other so that you can both become better through the competition. And that was just such a palpable influence from both of you guys, going so fast and being so good at these disciplines. So congratulations on epic races, and Trevor Coulter qualifying for the World Championships, man. You are him. You are the phenom. Way to go, bro. Incredible race, incredible future for you, as long as you just keep moving from the heart, as we all learned at Zion, and we're all continually amazed by when we have to follow your Strava and think, man, is he really doing that? Is he really doing that? Shoot. And I just know that you personally inspire me to keep going a little bit faster, because I like to think of myself as, like the fastest runner or something like that. And it's like, sure, I think this young guy's going to finally have to finally take it away from me. So just keep going, bro. You're awesome. All right. Next, we got Tribal Scout Blaine Bursey. So Blaine is a fellow coach on the team, and he's got a very cool coaching role where he is basically an example on how to lead yourself properly, like how to execute, how to prepare, how to ask questions, how to be curious, how to put yourself into new and potentially uncomfortable situations in order to spur on personal growth. We all saw that at Zion last year, where you had never done a trail run before, but you were down to pace coach for 18 miles in the middle of the night on top of a mesa and navigate him safely when he was deep in the pain cave. And watching what you have done for yourself to be able to come to a race, your third triathlon, after all of the kind of hesitancies and doubts and fears and questions that could I even finish the Ironman in Florida, to I want to smoke this race. Your word was offensive. I want to have an offensive race, right? But the way that you lead people on the team is by showing up for yourself, being accountable to training, right? Getting better, demanding more of yourself. And you kind of switched into a new gear where you started actively taking on leadership roles in the house, on the course. And this is just the natural evolution of your own process and growth. It was amazing to watch you adapt your expectations in real time, smoking the bike, going way faster, pumping out way more power than you ever thought. Maybe having a little bit of a spicy goal on the run, but not worrying about the fact that, hey, maybe I can't hit that pace, but the pace that I'm at is good. It's comfortable. And if this is where we're at, then we're just going to run. And that integrity that you have to yourself about always leading yourself through this process is exactly why people look up to you on the team. And it's just awesome to watch your journey, man. You just continue to grow and grow and grow. And you had a wicked race. And it's always great spending time with you in the house. Blaine's my guy. Okay, next, Logan. Man, if anybody on the team better epitomizes the idea that the race is a celebration, I don't think so. I think it's you, man. Like, you've got your own style. You have your own reason as to why you do these races. There's clearly this deep why with Nora, your daughter, you're racing with her, wanting to be strong and have endurance to help her with her challenges, but also just to show up as like the dedicated family man who's carving back an intentional life so that he can pour back into the people he loves and build to support people who he believes he can help and encourage. And you go on a family vacation to Florida because you want your family at the race. You're like, well, we'll drive back. All this crazy stuff happens to your bike. So you show up in Chattanooga and it's like half your bike's not even there. You're already there on Saturday. You're already the last person to check in. But, your A race this year was Elephant Mountain. We, go back and listen to my race recap. We spent some great miles both at the start and at the end of that race together. And I knew that Chattanooga for you was just no pressure. I'm here to throw down with my teammates who I gain encouragement and inspiration from, and who I want to pour motivation and love into with my presence. And there was all this negative stuff that could have just been like, I'm not even going to do the race. It's too much. Or I'm going to show up to the race, but I'm going to project out negative energy. And it's like, no. All that adversity, all the things that, would have broken definitely a weak person, but even a strong person could be broken by stuff like that. You just show up with a smile on your face, ready to go out, have fun, enjoy it, get lost in your own sort of experience, and then use that to like focus in on what really matters. And I know that the Ironman officials, they didn't really want you to carry Nora across the line, but honestly, I think it would have been pretty sweet if you just DQ'd and shoved it right up their faces and went across the line with your girl, man. That would have been pretty sweet too. And it would have been a really great way to proclaim your own style, right? That the race is a celebration, and that's why I want to do it. And we all just draw so much strength watching you. So it was great to see you, and Mazel tov. Mazel tov on it all. Keep building. All right. Next up, we got Mr. Zach Shipley. This is the legend of the Coke bottle right here. You came out and you paced, another one of these like, this is my kind of first ever trail run. What does it matter that it's 22 miles in the Arizona desert? But always open for the adventure. And, you showed up with that great light energy, with that open sort of curiosity. And the thing that, we noticed so much about you, both Ryan and I, was how excited you were to battle through adversity, right? We see you on the run, coming off the bike, and, you got a big smile on your face, and we both ask, like, how was the bike? And you put, like, your two fists up in the air, the biggest smile on your face, and you say, I got a flat tire! Like, this is some sort of accomplishment, right? You went under the bike time that you were aiming for while also having to troubleshoot and figure out something that literally makes people quit the race. They're like, shoot, okay, flat tire, like, done. I'm not even going back out there. But you've been evolving, right? And, I mentioned earlier in the pod, like, it's a word on language. Man, you want to talk about a language lesson. You want to talk about, like, body language and enthusiasm, tone, and the way you speak power into yourself through the words that you choose. Man, that might be the most dog moment. That might be the most dog moment of the entire race for all the athletes, is you just celebrating this fact that you busted through adversity that likely an earlier version of you wouldn't have been able to break through. And your word 100% was celebrate. It was 100% celebrate, right? So masterclass, a masterclass in language. You still threw up an incredible time, even though, right, adversity struck, and you still kept going. Mazel tov on an amazing race, dude. It's always incredible to watch you in the arena, even though I've only seen you once in your own race, but you were with us in another race. And, yeah, man, sky's the limit. And that's the right word. Those are the right words. Okay, next up, we got Philly Spice. The legend grows. How cool is it that at IronMan Florida, when we did kind of the very first mindset sharing, intentional workshop, right, at a team race, you were just launching out a knock, your spice business, right? And I remember you showed up with these because I was still living in Canada. You couldn't really ship up the spices that you were just making in like your kitchen. And I'd been waiting to try these spices, and you showed up with these 2 giant bags, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with all these spices, Phil? Like, they're gonna pull me into the room without windows at the airport, and I'm gonna have to text you, I need to know what's in all of these. And it wasn't like I was trying to get your secret ingredient list or anything like that. But it was just very much at the very beginning stages of this, and you sort of opened up about like, I don't really know where this is going. I'm scared about taking this risk and taking this leap, but I know that I have to do it, and I've got to move forward. And then, 7 months later, you show up at the team house with your Square processor and your production facility, incredibly branded, totally legit spice bottles, and you're selling them to everybody. You're selling them to everybody, and everyone is just raving about how good they are. And everyone, people are wearing your running shirt, and you do the bike, you do the group ride in your own brand labeled kit, right? And you show up and you're also smashing PRs. You're smashing IronMan PRs on the bike. Your fastest 70.3 times, right? In terms of run and bike, but also combined. And noticing how you had aggressive targets, you didn't hit them, but after a little bit of reflection, it's just part of the process of you just continually getting better, betting on yourself, doubling down on the process that's bringing you all the wins. And I mean, you are that guy, man. Like, there's the run right build. You are inspiring everybody with what you're building, dude. And you're just writing your own legend. And pretty soon, we all know that those catered team dinners, they're not catered dinners, right? Keep going. It was awesome. Always awesome. And you got me in a bit of trouble with that official, because when you were coming down the hill, you had the giant smile on your face, and I came up to you and you said, I asked how you feel. You're like, everything's hurting. I'm like, but that's great though. It means you're going hard. Your word was relentless. You wanted to attack the race and keep going strong. And you had a great run, and you're like, everything's hurting. But you had the biggest bloody smile on your face, and I just wanted to keep running with you. And then the official's like, all right, that's enough. Get away. You're helping him too much. And it's like, I just want to have fun with my guys. I just want to be in there with them. You're just a killer, bro. All right, TA. Man, you are that guy. Trevor Althouse. Just such a good dude. Like, showing up, being in the process, providing encouragement, support for people in the team house, just being able to chop it up, watching you like smash records on the bike, have a great run, just continually like pour into yourself through the process and give back to the team in terms of your like enthusiasm and encouragement. It's great, man. Love being your teammate. Love watching you race. Love carpools. love the airplane rides, and it's great, man. You're always inviting me up to races in Wisconsin, and I'm always having to say no because I have to watch my kids, which is great. I love my kids, and I guess we'll just have to play some golf instead. But really, it's your example is so good of being involved in your own process, not rushing through things, moving through at the right progression, and just totally maintaining that long game, doing it for the right reason mentality. And it all shows up when it's, you're putting together like the best races of your life. And it's just awesome to watch you, man. And we got that awesome picture of you going through Coach and I, and it's like everyone's on fire. It's like everyone is on fire. And it's just awesome, man. Okay, Stefanos, man, biggest heart and guts. Like, you had a pretty rough go in your training, didn't you, eh? You were sick. Didn't even know if you would be healthy enough to make it. You show up anyways. You're always making everybody smile, making everybody laugh. You're bringing that just positive energy, and you recognize the real value, right? You saw somebody on the run, Stefanos, who was cramping up on the side of the road, and you stopped. You stopped. You picked them up. It's a total stranger. You picked them up, and you helped pace that person to the finish. That person doesn't finish without Stefanos. Doesn't finish without your heart and your generosity. Generosity is a +10 word on the language chart, by the way. It's a +10 word. And this isn't the first time that our team does this. Trevor Coulter in Ironman Florida. The guy is like got a back that's seizing up. I show up a day before the race and the guy can hardly bend over and walk. He's so stiff. We see him at like the halfway point of the bike, and he's just like, my back, I got to get off. Like he's got to stretch it out. He's got to lie on the ground. But it doesn't stop him when he sees a guy on the side of the road with a flat tire. He stops in his own race and fixes a total stranger's tire. And then he gets back on the bike and keeps going, right? That guy never finishes without Trevor Coulter, just like this guy never finishes without Stefanos. And that's what it's all about. And you're such a great representation of that team spirit. We're here for the challenge. We're here to learn and grow ourselves. And we're here to have fun doing it with a smile. It's always a pleasure, bro. It's just always it's always a pleasure. You just have the biggest heart, and everybody loves racing with you. And you show it with that determination. Like, so many people don't show up to races because of illness. That's like 5% of what you've been battling, the past month and a bit. And it's already been said in the chat by a number of people in the group chat, like, dog. Absolute dog. You're my sleeper pick for the backyard. You're my sleeper pick for the backyard because you just don't stop. And you're one-speed Stefanos, and that's perfect. That's perfect for this race. So I can't wait to race with you in September, bro, and to get back in the arena together. All right, Freddie. New member of the squad. Kind of bummed out that you didn't get to do the swim, which was sort of the thing you were really looking forward to conquer, to learn about yourself. But holy moly, dude, you showed up in the best way. Seeing, you build a company with the same type of passion, heart, and dedication to helping people that we see somebody like Logan on the team doing. Obviously, Ryan is created with Tribal, what I'm trying to do outside as well. There's a lot of us that are all trying to affect the health, mentally, spiritually, and physically of other people because we've been down in the pits or we've seen how it's helped us tremendously. And watching you realize a tremendous version of yourself through the race, right? In terms of smoking the bike, having an excellent run, and really proving to everybody that you belong in this arena. It's just gratifying and validating, right, for the team concept to see individuals who come in, bet on themselves, do the work, expose themselves, like we all knew about your swim video you didn't want to share, right? Which eventually you did, and then that led to the unlock, right? I see you just believing in yourself so much through this process that is only going to allow you to elevate what you're building in your own life, right? Your own dreams of coaching and helping impact other people's lives, and the self-leadership that you showed, as well as the just tenacity and the talent, man. It's like, if you weren't a believer in Freddie, like, we're all believers in Freddie now. Like, all believers in you, dog. You are legit. You are absolutely legit, and it was an honor to watch you do your thing and to be in your corner cheering you on. Okay, we're getting kind of close now to the end here. I have a call I'm supposed to hit, so I hope I don't forget anybody. Next up is Big Jonathan Hayes, Clydesdale Jonathan Hayes. Jonathan is another one of the guys that Ryan and I have spent a lot of time pouring into in 2-on-1 coaching. And he, I think, would be the first to admit he had a very rocky year last year, not a very good year in terms of training, consistency, motivation. But realistically, and this is a word that we sort of threw around a lot, some of our calls, enthusiasm. There wasn't a lot of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm for training, enthusiasm for competing. Just, honestly, just like some general enthusiasm. But what I witnessed from you at the team race was incredible. It was incredible. I saw a guy with passion. I saw a guy with heart. I saw a guy who cares about being part of a team. I saw a guy who thrives on a challenge when he knows there's other people around also doing the same challenge. Watching you come to life to become an absolute better version, a truer version of who you are, was one of the most gratifying and satisfying and just truly like inspiring things I've witnessed as a coach. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there were times where we didn't know where's the passion, where's the fire. I know where that is, man. It's everywhere when you are surrounded by your people. It was incredible to meet your wife, and she balled out with the baking. Jonathan's wife Heather is starting up a baking, kind of like a side business that almost certainly will become a full business because the baking is incredible. The concept is awesome, and the people behind it are amazing. But it was so incredible to watch you come out and cheer. And you had an incredible race, shaving an hour off your time. You've been stacking fitness gains consistently, like over the past months. You've been really building towards this, and it's like everything just came together for you, man. And yeah, the time is great, but watching you just like yelling your guts out, cheering on everybody, just like laughing, chopping it up, going over and introducing yourself, meeting everybody, really being like a life of the party kind of guy in all the best ways. Man, it was amazing to watch you do it. And like, I'll save the real heroic thing that you did for the end. I gotta pull up the photo here to make sure that I'm not missing anybody because I think we're at the end. But just let me double check that I got everybody. So I'm pulling up my photo here, start line photo, to make sure that I'm getting everybody who's in the start line photo. That was my goal on this podcast, was to make sure that everybody who's at that epic start line photo gets a word from the travel prof. So as I scroll my phone and continue to miss, oh, there we go. Big Mike. There we go. Big Mike. I feel like I'm forgetting someone, and I don't want to be that guy who forgets somebody. Big Mike from Texas. I love watching dads compete in front of their kids. I like seeing dogs compete with their teammates. I like seeing people with enthusiasm, with passion, positivity, go out and do their thing. It was awesome to meet you in person, dude. It was really great to see you push. I heard from a bunch of people that you were kind of like egging them into these like inter-team competitions. Blaine in particular, you met him up on the bike, right? And it's like in the final whatever miles, and you passed him. He's like, Blaine, let's go, let's battle, like let's battle, with like, of course, the best intentions, right? To be bringing the best out of ourselves. Some of the shares that you had in the circle on both days were really excellent, and it was just really cool to meet you and to watch you, show the best of yourself in front of little Patty and your wife. All of us see each other on Strava. We sort of see each other in the chat. We really love the videos that you share, man. We love those videos of you. I battled this little thing today, but I overcame it, because we all empathize, right? There's the race, and that's the glory, and that's like the big final production. But really, like the day-to-day battles of, I had this in my way that would have prevented me from getting to my swim, but I overcame the fear, or I overcame the excuse, and I just did it anyway. Like, you are a leader in those little moments of vulnerability that all of us experience in training and in competing and building and growing. And again, it's like your presence and the light and just like the energy that comes out of you it's like a beacon. And it was just awesome to watch you do your thing and to meet you in person, bro. And that brings us to the final person, Mr. Grant Warren. Very special place in my heart for Grant. Really special place. Grant has been on an incredible journey of self-discovery and of mending past, we'll call it vices. And Grant signed up for Chattanooga last year, didn't make it, didn't show up to the starting line. Had all these reasons, right, not to come back to the team, not to double down on the efforts to try to become a triathlete, to put himself into this arena, which he is being called towards, obviously. And I cheer hard for everybody on the team, but I cheer the hardest, and this is like sort of like my coaching as well. I cheer hardest and I care the deepest about the people who seemingly get thrown to the ground or throw themselves to the ground over and over, but who refuse to stay down and who keep getting up and who keep trying and that bet on themselves even when everybody else seemingly might be giving up and other people would have absolutely given up on themselves. And for you, just showing up to the house was like the biggest win. And it was the thing that I wanted most for you. Because once you crossed that the real threshold for you was getting in the car and driving 12 hours by yourself to go stay in a house with guys you'd never met in person, who had all met together, right? We'd all been together many times. It's intimidating, right? Also haven't had the training block that you want, right? In terms of consistency, in terms of accountability, in terms of self-leadership. And there were times where I'm sure you thought it's going to be the same as 2024, where I'm not going to even make it. But you refuse to quit on yourself. You refuse to quit on a better dream that you have, a vision for yourself. And you showed up and you put yourself out there in every single position. At the swim, at the outdoor bike, the little bike ride that you guys went on, the four of you at the house before Trevor and I even got there. To me, one of the biggest things that I saw out of you winning, the Friday morning before we went to the swim start, I went out for a run. I'm like, how much time when are we leaving? Great, I got time to go hit a run. And then people were like, how long are you going to run for? I'm like, oh, probably like 4 miles or something, which I did. It's a beautiful 4-mile run on this amazing road. But everybody had a shakeout run on their training plan. And you took it upon yourself to say, you know what? I just saw a coach go out. I got 12 minutes. I'm going to do my run right now. I'm going to get it out of the way. I'm going to hold myself to a high standard, and I'm going to show up. And you banged out your run. You went to the swim. You got in. You went to the bike, right? You went out with everybody. You had trepidations, right? You had reasons to doubt yourself, but you opened up and you shared some incredible things about the journey and about what this whole experience kind of meant to you. And you wake up, it's 70.3 morning. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, bro. It's your 37th birthday. And the race, maybe it doesn't go as you planned, but maybe it kind of goes how a lot of us maybe expected the race to go. You didn't make it. You went out after 30 some odd miles and 30 miles and change on the bike. That story will come to light later. That's not a story I'm able to tell because I didn't experience it. But I can tell the story of what happened after. You showed up. You owned it. You owned what happened. I asked you, hey, just what happened out there? Not like, no one's angry. No one's angry or upset that you didn't finish the race. And I think you get that. And you just turn to me and you say, it's like you always say, the truth is in the training. The truth is in the training, right? And I was so proud of you for exposing yourself to that sharp razor of truth. That was the thing I was most encouraged about by you showing up, because you're saying, lay it open. Lay me open. Let the razor do what it's going to do. And whatever it does, I'm going to be open to the lesson, and I'm going to hear it, and I'm going to act upon it. And do you guys know what it must feel like? There's 19 athletes. 18 of them crossed the finish line. You're the only one that didn't. You're the only one that didn't cross the finish line. Everybody's chopping it up about the race. Everyone's like, you remember this on this mile? How about this on that run? Like, oh my gosh, right? And Grant's just got to... Yeah, I didn't get there. I didn't even get to the parts where you guys are chopping it up. And I don't even want to talk about those beginning miles because I didn't finish. Those were the prelude to me exiting. You know how hard that is, guys? But no, this guy shows up. He is cheering on the teammates. He's talking to the teammates. Everyone's asking him, hey, what happened? Nobody cares that you didn't finish the race. We just want to help you. We want to support you. We want to encourage you and empower you that it's okay. We've all had terrible races. I had a DNF at a 100-mile race. I didn't hit the mark at the Backyard Ultra. Like, both my races last year were objective failures. It happens. That's the razor, man. We all expose ourselves to the razor of truth. And just you being willing to be open about it and then to live in that lesson and to be supportive, right? And to be at the race with people and to still be giving encouragement and to still be having those conversations with everybody. It just showed everybody like the true character and the true strength that's inside of you, man. And it was impressive to watch. And we're going to bring this back to Jonathan. Hero Jonathan. I've gone way over, but it's fine. We're at like the post-race dinner. Like there's a bunch of us. We're eating. It's kind of like everybody's tired and strung out. And so many things have gone on. And remember, like this is Grant's birthday. You think the birthday gift he wanted was a DNF and to have to sit around and hear everybody else talk about like their race celebrations and experiences when he is the one who didn't get the finish? Like, nobody wants to be in that situation. And Jonathan, man, you come over to me and you say, we need to do something for Grant. We need to show him that we're with him. We need to show him, right, that we see him and we don't care about the race result. We just want to encourage and pour love into the guy for showing up and for being brave enough to go out there and do it, right? And so just like total kudos to you and Heather for recognizing the importance, right, of us having to support. And it's not as if we didn't want to do that, but there's like 1,000 things going on. There's 19 athletes. Like, we're all sort of all over the place. And you bring, Ryan and I over, and then Heather goes and gets the desserts, and Ryan stands up, and we get to single Grant out for the incredible things that he did. And none of it has to do with the damn race finish. The race finish doesn't matter, guys. Like, I can say it 1,000,000 times over. I promise you I can. I can talk for a long time. But it doesn't matter. We don't care about the performances. We don't care about the finishes. We care about being accountable to the higher standard of who you want to be, the integrity of your character, the person you desire to become. And that's who we celebrated when we all sang Grant happy birthday and poured all of our hearts directly into his because that's what he needed the most. And that's what you get, man, when you show up for yourself, when you put it out on the line, when you enter into the arena and you risk the truth and you're open to the lesson. You're an absolute champion. And that, like, the way you did that is the thing that will always be the hallmark, the absolute hallmark of Chattanooga 2025. And sneak peek for 2026, right? We need the redemption. We need Grant to hit that finish line. We want that. We desire that. And we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. All of us. Because you deserve it, bro. And we all saw the best of you come out, even in the worst possible kind of situation. You did not allow it to affect you in a way that spoiled the character growth that you're after. Mazel tov, dude. Hero shit. I'm supposed to be on a call with the head coach right now, but I've just talked for 2 hours. We did it. We went over 2 hours, team. Way to go. I think I could talk forever about this, but I really do have to go. This is a big one, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you, team, for opening up your hearts and pouring them out. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being killers, each and every one of you. Nothing but love, nothing but support, nothing but gratitude coming from me, your tribal professor. Peace and love, everybody else on the outside. I hope you've listened to this to be able to understand exactly what it is we are building. If you have any interest in joining us or learning more about us, reach out. We got runrightbuild.com. Go check it out. Message me. Find me on Twitter. Read my Substack. send me a message. Find Ryan. We're here for you guys. Till the next one.